Welcome to another episode of Engineering Influence, a podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies, coming to you from our 2024 Spring Convention and Legislative Summit in Washington, D.C. And very happy to be joined by someone who is regular on the program, talking about technology and increasingly all things AI. Javier Baldor, he or President and CEO of BST Global. Javier, welcome back to the program.
Excited to be here. Great to see you again, Jeff.
So you're coming right off of the heels of a very successful AA conference in Orlando. It was Orlando, right?
In Clearwater Beach.
In Clearwater Beach. And we had a couple of staff members down there for the event, said it was fantastic. Tell us a little bit about the conference and what your takeaways were.
Well, first of all, amazing event, all things AI. We termed it the BST Global AI Summit. Mm-hmm. We were blessed to have 14 visionaries from the industry across the world sharing how they're preparing for an AI-powered and data-driven future. Yeah. So it was fantastic.
Fantastic. And you're looking at doing another one next May?
100%. It'll be May 6th of 2025 in Palm Beach, Florida.
And the last time we spoke, it was in Austin. And you were coming off of a really successful panel at Austin in our fall conference. You held another one this time in spring, again on implementation of AI, actually turning it from theory into reality at firms. Tell us a little bit about that panel and how it was received.
Well, two of them. Yesterday I spoke about the AI imperative, which really from a trailblazer's perspective. So really coming off the heels of our AI summit, I was able to paraphrase the wisdom of these 11 presenters, amazing presenters, in terms of how, again, they're preparing for an AI-powered future. I think it was very well received. I'll be shortly speaking about really a part two on how AI and big data is going to transform our industry. The update with regards to that is it's certainly all things AI, but certainly Gen AI has come to the forefront. We're seeing the prominence of it, the advancement of Gen AI, but also the risks, and beginning to think through how do you leverage the excitement, the power, and enthusiasm around Gen AI, for example, but also mitigate risk. And then lastly, how do you prepare your workforce? How do you upskill them for an AI-driven future?
I was going to ask what's changed since we last spoke, but even this week you had
OpenAI.
I mean, I saw some of the videos. It was stunning. The fact that the one test case I saw was stunning was the use for someone who would be visually impaired, pretty much going around a city. They were in London holding up a phone saying, is the king in London, and having the program actually through the camera say, yeah, the royal standards on Buckingham Palace, aren't you lucky to be in London when the king's in residence, or helping him hail a cab. I mean, that visual aspect tying in now AI looking at an environment and actually distilling it down to an answer it's truly amazing. I mean, that has to have some kind of a future application for engineering. What do you think?
It's unbelievable. I think what's lost on many people is the power and scale of what is happening right before us with Gen AI and these large language models. A bit of context. Version 3.0 of ChatGPT, they were working on it 2018, 2019. Fast forward to 3.5, 10 times more powerful.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 4.0, 10 times more powerful. Fast forward to what's anticipated with 5.0, 10 times more powerful. So you're talking about orders of magnitude, 1,000 times more powerful with proposed ChatGPT 5 than its earlier predecessor in 3.0. So it's just the scale and magnitude of these advancements is unprecedented.
This is Moore's law applied to AI.
It's unprecedented.
So who knows what's going to happen? Like, at the beginning, and I hope people realize that we actually did this, and it wasn't somebody who we hired, but we did have those two videos, and it was a program online where we typed out a script. We matched it to a digital avatar, to a digital voice, completely synthetic, and created this introductory how to use an app video in 30 minutes. And, the uncanny valley is there. You can definitely tell it's fake. But at the same time, it worked for the purposes that we needed it for. It is truly amazing at how quickly this is advancing. Do you think that, have you seen firms increasingly do a better job of trying to get their handle on exactly the right entry point into the technology?
Yeah, I think that many firms are trying to figure this out, but there's real life use cases. I mean, speaking of one firm in particular, Populous, that spoke at our AI summit, unbelievable prompting with text to arrive at beautiful, stunning images of proposed projects, iterations of projects. As one example, they're known for storytelling. They don't sell design services, they storytell. And I think visually storytelling, with these types of emerging technologies is unbelievable. So this is not 2-3 years down the line, Jeff. This is right here, right now. So
yeah, it'll be amazing for firms to be able to use that in the proposal process to actually and cut the time it would take and the investment it would take to actually have these renderings and be able to give a client even more of a three-dimensional or 360 look at what a project could actually be through AI.
Well, let me tag on to that. Another story, again, Marty Williams, CIO at H&TB, prominent ACEC member, really put together a tremendous business case. We're using an open AI service to mine past proposals. And he put a business case where they estimated that they spent about 50,000 hours a year pursuing projects, right?
Yeah.
And they found or estimated they could save about 20% of that time, so about 10,000 hours. Based on their win rate, which I think he chronicled about 72%, they average pursuit about $5 million job. That could mean they could drive new sales on an existing sales force. That would be stunning. That it literally would be stunning.
And that seems to be
$300 million to be exact.
That is amazing because it seems like the value in AI still. At this point, we could talk about, rendering and having the technology to be able to turn, and actually write and develop diagrams and help with drafting. But really right now it's the business case of client acquisition. It's dealing with the data that you have internally, especially if you have a large amount of data, RFP response, shortening that timetable, being able to respond to more RFPs using this technology. That seems to be the most potent use case that I've heard so far.
Yeah, I think you've got to define the use case. I think you're spot on. And I think identifying that low-hanging fruit, proposals was a key one. But I think coming on also, Jason Miller from Ramble outlined a beautiful approach to defining a data strategy. The future of this industry, in my opinion, is all about data.
Yeah.
And you take a look at both structured data and unstructured data, it's all over the place. So Dally Mule and Davenport, again, Jason Miller presented this with Ramble at the AI Summit, said that less than 50% of structured data is used for making decisions. Less than 1% of unstructured data is used at all. So there's such a prize in mining that data, but literally challenges with regards to interoperability, access, being able to mine it. But with the promise of these open AI services and the like, it will open up the enterprise to these prizes like H&TB is witnessing.
So with these technologies coming out and to your point, being able to mine that, excuse me, you need the structures and systems in place in the command and control to be able to effectively employ these programs. Have you seen firms adapt their management structures, more CIOs, more CTOs, bringing on those, technical experts to be able to harness all this information?
Yeah, excellent point. I did some research, asked our digital team to do some research, just to give you a bit of context to your point. In our top 100 firms, last year in the fall, I spoke at ACEC, 5 out of 100 had a chief data or digital officer. I'll give you a sneak peek into my remarks here in a few minutes, but that number's up to 18 right now.
That's a significant change.
So you're talking a matter of months since last fall, more than a tripling of chief data or digital officers. Firms are recognizing the importance of data in their organizations and investing, and it starts right at the top with the leadership that's required.
And that's, I think, going to be a big focus of the technology committee as their work continues to help firms understand how to adapt to take advantage of all this and have the right people in place to actually capitalize on this. So
Raj Arora and ACEC Technology Committee is doing a fantastic job. Also want to commend ACEC Research Institute, Daphne Bryant, doing an amazing job. Also leading the initiatives of the Future Firm. I'm excited to be part of that board with ACEC Research Institute. amazing work on scenario planning and really looking forward to the firm of 2035 and how particularly technology and other whether it's technology or other scenarios are going to play out.
Yeah, I think you raise a good a point there with the firm of the future and that future horizon that the Institute's looking at. It's that firm of the future, 2035. What is the engineering firm going to look like? And doing the research and working on that to kind of create that picture to help executives plan long term. And not be left behind, but actually change now to hit future need is going to be important. And we appreciate your work on that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be radically different.
Yeah.
I think if you were to look back in 2035 versus the consultancy of today, I think it's going to be radically transformed on many fronts in terms of, and I know the work that the Research Institute is doing on the business model and commercially how things are going to be done, that's going to be transformed, moving from time and materials work to lump sum or other gain share or value-based pricing mechanisms. But the future worker is going to be transformed. They're, in my opinion, Jeff, they're not going to be an engineer. They're also going to be a software engineer, leveraging low-code, no-code technologies and platforms, and data scientists.
Yeah.
They're going to be melded together. And you take a look at, the promise and the efficiencies that are before us. According to McKinsey, 50% of work tasks will be automated by Gen AI between 2030 and 2060. So where does that meet? Where does that meet knowledge-based industries like ours, which are ideally suited for Gen AI, which can predict, with tremendous excellence, patterns in natural language?
It's going to be interesting to see how collaborative and cross-functional these teams are going to be compared to how things are right now. But I agree with you. I think that the firm is going to look incredibly different in the future. And I think it's just not our industry only. It's going to be across industries. And it's good that we are at least getting out ahead of it and trying to get on the leading edge so we're not left behind. Javier, I also have to say happy birthday.
Oh, my goodness.
Happy birthday. It's great to be able to celebrate it here and have you on the program for it. And I really do appreciate your time and look forward to speaking to you again, hopefully sooner than fall conference in New Orleans, but maybe we can do a check-in beforehand and see what else is going to be working on.
Well, it's great to be with you, Jeff. Once again, thank you and your team. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
Here on Engineering Influence. Certainly honored to be a part of this. Look forward to our next catch-up, hopefully sooner than the fall, but keep up the great work.
Appreciate it.
And much success.
Well, open invitation, so whenever you want to come on. And again, this has Engineering Influence, a podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies, and we'll see you next time.